The title push is on. Ish. Hello and welcome to Season 15, Episode 5 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two Premier League games, one of which is away to Leicester and the other is at home to Brighton. Since you were last with me, lots and lots of football has been played. I think we were up here somewhere the last time you were with me. Most importantly, we've managed to get João Roberto scoring. He got 8 goals in 5 games. Throughout January and got the January Premier League Player of the Month award. We did get knocked out of the Capital One Cup in the semi-final against Brighton, basically playing the reserves, so we don't really care. But we did have some good league results. We beat Tottenham 5-0 in the league with João Roberto getting 4 goals inside the first 25 minutes, which was quite impressive. We beat West Ham 3-0. West Ham are up there challenging us for a Champions League spot, so that was an excellent result. And then a 4-0 win at home to Reading and a 4-2 win in the FA Cup away to Bournemouth. So it's going well. We have our tactic. We're settled with the tactic now. It's the 4-2, 3-1. We've given up on standard. We're just going attack all the time. It seems to suit João Roberto. Ayrton, Gilberto and Putu, they're all playing well. Bradford and Wilkes are settled in midfield. And we have a settled-ish back four that, although it's still very porous, Ron Osborne's weighing in with a few goals. And hopefully, I mean, the plan is we just score more than the opposition. That's what we're aiming for at the moment. And if we can keep João Roberto in the kind of form he's been in, with Ayrton and Gilberto supporting, we might actually have a bit of a push for the title. I mean, it's a long shot. We're 11 points behind Chelsea after 24 games. So we've got a lot of ground to make up. Hopefully, we can finish in a Champions League spot by keeping our form going and have a bit of a push to try and win the Champions League. That's got to be the goal now, if I'm going to stay in the job. Ayrton is currently the top-rated player in the Premier League, which, considering there was a time when he wasn't getting in my side, shows how important it was to end up with this tactic. I'm not sure where João Roberto is on the top goal scorer chart, so he must be flying up it. Yeah, there you go. He's 4th with 18 goals in 24 appearances in the league. He's got 27 goals in total so far this season, and it's only February. The transfer window has been and gone. Nothing really happened. In fact, I don't think anything at all happened. We certainly didn't sign anybody because we had no money. And we didn't sell anybody either. There you go. There's a couple of players who wanted to leave but haven't. The only notable contract news is we have signed Breel Embolo for a 1-year contract extension. He's been playing pretty well coming off the bench on the left wing as an inside forward. Yes, he's 32 now, but I think he's still got another season in him. So he's going to be sticking around for another year on massively reduced money as well. He's only on £145,000 a week now, only, he says. That would have been top paid player at Ipswich. But, you know, he's almost halved the wage that he was on before just to stay at the club. So I can get on board with that kind of thing. So this is the team we're playing. We're going to go away against Leicester. And hopefully we're going to keep a good run of form going. I'm always a little bit wary when I've had a good run of form off camera. When we come back on camera, it won't be as good as it was and as good as I've been telling you about. Is the game going to start? The game doesn't seem to want to start. There we go. We're away. Both teams were in blue today. That's interesting. Does that happen in real life? Oh, look at that. 16 seconds on the clock. And they've combined Ayrton with the cross onto the head, I think, of João Roberto. It doesn't really matter what part of his body it hits. It seems to hit any part of him and end up in the back of the net at the moment. We've really got him flying. So the Ayrton cross comes in and, yeah, it is a header. And, 1-0 up, away to Leicester. 16 seconds on the clock. Hopefully, that's the start of some exciting things. I've got the match stats on there. We can actually change that back to action zones. When I play on my main PC, I've lost the match stats. They've disappeared. But when I'm on this laptop to record, the match stats reappear. So I don't need to have them on the bit in the middle. I have been told how to reset them as well. I still haven't been able to figure it out. I'm making do without them when you lot aren't there. Right, can we get the cross in? Cross comes in to Mputu. He really should have done better with that. He sort of had 2 bites at the cherry there. Didn't really make either of them count. And Leicester have got the chance to break here. And this is where we are a little bit weak because teams can just sort of cut through us. We certainly need to invest in some defenders over the summer. Oh, look at me, planning for the summer as if I'm going to still have a job. Ron Osborne is probably the only defender we'd want to stick around. Desperate to bring Lazarov in as a right back. We need another top quality centre back to go alongside Ron Osborne. Carlos Sabala maybe. And then left back we're probably okay. Although if there's a good one out there, I like to spend money on a full back. What just happened there? That was just a sort of lumped forward cross-field pass that slipped between three of our players and no one really claimed it. And that's what I mean. Defensively, we are dodgy. We have to keep scoring the amount of goals we're scoring because there's always the fear that we're going to concede a couple. So I'm certainly not comfortable in this game and won't be until we're sort of 3 or 4-0 up, which has been happening lately, although it usually happens before now. So for us, here we go. Donnarumma is very important to us. I mean, Leicester have had 4 clear-cut chances. Luckily, we have the best goalkeeper in the world. So, he gets us out of jail a lot. But it does show how much we need a holding midfield player and a proper defence. I think probably attacking-wise, I'm comfortable now. Now I've worked out how to combine them together. We've fixed that end of the pitch. Once we fix the defence and the defensive part of the midfield as well, I think we have a proper Premier League winning team in emerging out of this misshapen squad. But we can't let Leicester concede. Leicester score. We can let them concede. I'd love to let them concede. That would be marvellous. But it's so much Leicester pressure, and that goal has been coming for so long. Not good, because they'll get another one yet. It's only the first half. They've only scored once. Look, we just can't defend. We've got 3 players all running towards the ball there. If their player had missed it, they had 2 players on the overlap where we just abandoned the players that we were marking. And the 3 players ball chasing, none of them managed to win the ball anyway. Oh, it's frustrating. And it's all the more frustrating because they didn't give me any money to fix the problem in January. It's clear for all to see that we need to sort out the defence. Good job we managed to bring Ron Osborne in the summer. But cost a blooming fortune. But yeah, at least another couple of defenders needed. João Roberto's just hit the crossbar. How important is that miss going to end up being? Because, again, it's the sort of thing where if the camera wasn't pointing at me, he would have scored that, and he'd be polishing off his hat-trick at that point as well. But obviously, he's got a bit of stage fright. He didn't realise the camera was rolling until about 20 seconds into the game, which is why he scored early. Oh, that was a poor pass, and it's put us under pressure, but we've won the ball back. Ayrton, can he beat his man? Of course he can beat his man. Cross comes in. Bradford is in the penalty area. I don't understand what's happening. He's supposed to be, I suppose he is our box-to-box midfielder. Doesn't tend to spend a lot of time in either box, though, interestingly. Right, and Putu not having a very good game. I've been telling you I like Mbolo doing this, so let's bring him on and show you him doing this. He comes on as an inside forward on support. And Nathan Wilkes is going to come off as well. He's not playing great. He's on a yellow card. And Suarez is very good as a deep-lying playmaker. I'm not sure when we bring in a proper holding midfield player who gets dropped. Because we have got probably 4 really good quality, creative central midfielders at the club. But we've got to sacrifice one of them just to stop the silly goals. Come on, lads, we do need a goal now. Gilberto not playing great. Let's have a little bit of Raheem Sterling. And he can come on and he can be... No, I was aiming for playmaker. There we go. So, does he normally attack? I think he might normally attack. But we'll switch him to attack. It doesn't feel right that all 3 of them are on support. I don't think that's how it normally is. I'm fiddling. And I'm showing off for you lot, and I'm fiddling. And I shouldn't, because the tactic's been working without fiddling. Oh, for goodness sake. Where are Leicester in the league? Oh, this is just mid-table nonsense. So much for title pushes and just... What a load of turd. Right. Attack, Sterling. This is silly. We've been playing so much better than this. It's the curse of the camera, curse of saving the game and closing it down when you're in good form. Because, as we all know, if you're in a good run of form, you don't turn the game off until the run of form ends. Because this happens when you come back into the game. It's the curse of football. It's Football Manager punishing you for, it's 1:30 in the morning and you're going to bed. So, doesn't really seem very committed. You probably deserve to lose your next game now, don't you? And lose the next game we did. What a load of rubbish. I think, we are still just hanging on to 4th place, but that is just not good enough. And we need to do better than that against Brighton, who we really struggled with in the Capital One Cup very recently. So, I mean, if we don't win this next game, the sack is looming again, unfortunately. Big clubs, eh? So, a couple of changes for the Brighton game. 3 changes, in fact, in the areas where I think we probably lost that game against Leicester. So, we're changing the 2 central midfield players. Suarez and Andre come in, and Mateza comes back in at left-back. He's our first choice left-back. He was just being rested in the last game. Andre's not really match fit. Very helpful. Letting me know that as well. Thank you very much. I hadn't noticed. Brighton beat us over two legs, and they beat us in both legs of the Capital One Cup semi-final. And I'm just realising what I've done, they did it with Andre and Suarez in the side because they were playing in the Cup, because we were playing a slightly weakened team. So all we've done there is taken the central midfield that has been forcing us up the league with some excellent performances and swapped it over with the central midfield that struggled against Brighton twice in the last 3 weeks. Probably not the greatest managerial move anyone's ever made, but come on, Brighton, why are they 17th? They were 19th at the start of this game. If we can't beat them at home, I deserve to be sacked. It's just need defenders. If anyone's got any defenders they would like to send me, just stick them in the post or something to the usual address. They would be gratefully received. A holding midfield player as well would be ace at the moment. Right, Mateza has got forward on this left-hand side. He beats his man. Why did he cut it back to Andre? I don't understand why a cross didn't just come in for João Roberto. And Martelli's going to get himself sent off. Actually, no, he's not. Good. Because if he had, that would be a disaster. And I'd end up getting fired for it. The board at the end of January were very pleased with my performance as manager, which I don't really understand because they've said we have to win the league and we have to get to the semi-final, I think, of the Champions League or the final of the Champions League. They're quite high expectations. We've got no chance of winning the league. And yes, we're still in the Champions League, but we're not exactly... I suppose we've done okay in that. I think the Champions League kind of has to save us, though, because if we don't win the league, which we're not going to, that's one expectation failed. They've already said they don't care about the 2 domestic cups. So they're just a bit trigger-happy with their managers. And I don't really understand why they're telling me they're very pleased at the moment. Perhaps they've not noticed the league position. Gilberto is in 13 goals this season. I used to think Johnny Vaughan scored a lot of goals from attacking midfield, but Gilberto is just another level. It's ridiculous, the amount of goals he picks up from behind João Roberto. I mean, the two of them have got over 40 goals between them this season now. As I guess you'd call them a strike partnership. They're a modern strike partnership. Striker and his attacking midfielder who plays behind him, but 40 goals between them by early February, that's a pretty decent return. Right, we need a couple more because I am not at all confident that we're going to hold on to 1-0. We kept going ahead against Brighton in the cup semi-finals, and they just kept coming back and beating us eventually. João Roberto's in, it's 2-0. We can start to relax a little bit. His 29th goal of the season. Inexplicably, he has absolutely no hair. And you can even tell on the 3D look, no hair at all. But he's in. Excellent. 2-0 up. Hopefully, this is us bouncing back into some good form and starting to re-establish ourselves as Champions League place challengers. Right, substitutions. It's 68 minutes. You know what that means. Right, João Roberto can come off. We'll bring on Wagner. Or Wagner? Who knows? Suarez can come off as well. Lewis Bradford can come on. Swap them around maybe. Makes no difference really. No, we'll leave it like that actually. We probably could have brought Wilkes on, who would have maybe been a bit more useful. But, Bradford came through the Exeter youth team. So he's my favourite, even though I spent £40 million on Wilkes. Because logic is a stranger to me. Right, Andre. We'll bring Wilkes on now anyway. Andre can come off. And now we will swap them over because they're better that way round. And hopefully this game just sort of drifts out into a comfortable 2-0. I mean, it's been a much better performance today. We've not really given Brighton a sniff. They've not had a shot on target yet. We're 3-0 up now. Oh, no, we're not. We're 2-0 up. Gilberto's drifted offside. Yeah, we've not even given Brighton a shot on target, so this is a much better performance, and we are much better away from home. So I think we probably need a variation on the tactic for away games. We experimented with going standard away from home rather than attacking, and it wasn't really working. So, I don't know. What do we do away from home? Let me know in the comments. How do we tweak this tactic to make it more effective away from home? Gilberto's got a knock here. That's a bit worrying. He's still going to get in for his second goal. And he's offside again. Well, I never. That's just silly. He could have had a hat-trick if the linesman wasn't a thing. I wanted to see what his injury was there, but I was scratching my leg, so my hand wasn't on the mouse. So I couldn't see. Can we hover over him and see what his injury is? No, he's not going to let me do that, is it? Right, he's picked up. I mean, he's moving around well, so he's probably just banged his head or something. So, 2-0 against Brighton. We are still in 4th place. Does it tell us here what his injury is? Upper body injury. So, hopefully, just a bruised chest or something. There we go. So, we end the episode exactly where we started it. Sort of in a Champions League position, but not really looking very convincing at all. And hopefully, we'll push on. And the next time you're with me will be the second leg of the Champions League first knockout round. We're going to play the first leg offline because there's a massive gap between the two games. And then we'll probably come back. Well, it will definitely be the Lyon game, either with Arsenal or Everton, depending on who are closer to us in the Champions League running when the time comes. Which at the moment, I guess the more interesting game is Everton. But we'll see what happens when the time comes. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on either a Champions League win or a sacking. And thank you very much for watching.